So long, farewell, adieu, 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 for you and you and you and you and you. Do, 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 do. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And my timing couldn't have been better. I take 2 days to go away, get away from it all. Me and my wife, we go off to the seaside, book a hotel, have a few meals, very nice. Getting away from it all. Thinking it's a quiet time of year, Parliament's about to lift, there's nothing on the horizon, and all hell breaks loose, and I'm sitting by the seaside with no access to my computer. I was very tempted to get in the car and come home, but I thought, no, don't. You get so little time away, enjoy it. Typical. Absolutely bloody typical. But now he's gone. Boris is no more. The trouble with Boris, of course, is that he's an idiot. He has done a lot of things that have been very, very bad. He's lied to Parliament twice. He lied to the Queen, telling her it was legal to prorogue Parliament. Turns out, no, it wasn't. He's a buffoon of the first water. He makes very bad decisions on whether to have parties while the rest of us can't bury our dead because we're not allowed to sit next to each other in churches or, crematoriums and things like that. There's that infamous picture of the Queen sitting alone burying her husband while Boris the night before was having a piss up in number 10. So he is an awful, awful man. Apart from his initials are BJ. Well, couldn't be more apt. Him and Carrie, her head in his lap. Guy walks into the office and sees it. That was kept quiet, wasn't it? So next time you see Carrie and that little tremulous bottom lip, just imagine it. So he's had that. He's had affairs. He's had more children that he doesn't even know how many children he's got. So he's not trustworthy in terms of personal relationships. He's an absolute idiot in terms of his policies. Oh, hello, yes, there's PPE's going to be made. So, let's make a lot of money for my friends. Hi, Crispian, would you like to make lots of money? I know you've got no experience of this, but I'll give you the contract to supply masks. And for all his faults, for all of his awfulness, for all the stupidity, he's still better than what is to come. We've got, I think it's 12 now, the Dirty Dozen they're being called, who are fighting tooth and claw to get their arse into the seat at number 10. None of them are any good. They're incompetent, they're stupid, they're corrupt, they're in the pocket of the World Economic Forum, they have vested interests, some of them are effectively traitors, pro-Europeans who want to drag Britain back in and give away our sovereign rights and freedoms. To me, that's treason. And these people are fighting to be the leader of this country. Personally, I'd throw them all in a ring, throw in a knife and say last man standing gets it. Some of them are straight out not any good. Rishi, he won't get it. The bookies are saying, oh yes, well, Rishi's a loader coming out leading the favourite. Rishi is despised. Liz Truss, a bit thick. Gove said he's not going to stand. Well, I don't blame him because Gove is so divisive and untrustworthy. Nobody in Parliament would trust him as far as they could comfortably spit a rat. So who are you left with? Sergeant Javid talks a good game, but does he have the backbone? Doubt it. You've got Clark. He might rise. He might be there. He's a Brexiteer. He, I think, would be the people's choice. But the rest of them are just faceless non-entities and nobodies. They've got nobody there that the people can cling to. The one thing you can say about Boris is people knew who he was. But let's have a look at this piece here about the Dirty Dozen, because honestly, they are awful. So, the Dirty Dozen ready to shred each other to pieces. 12 Tory leadership contenders emerge, with fears wacky races battle is already turning nasty, with Liz Truss branded mad, bad and dangerous to know. And they call Rishi, who's almost a billionaire, I think, they're calling him Rishi Rich. Nadine Dorries warned colleagues they have to keep the cabinet sailing steadily and government running. Her plea for stability came amid fears that the race to replace Johnson will turn into the Grand National. People will shred each other to pieces in the media. It's going to be a bloodbath, the Culture Secretary said. Leadership hopeful Liz Truss, the idiot, will pitch herself as the female Boris Johnson in the leadership race, allies say. Foreign Secretary is among more than a dozen MPs preparing to launch bids to be the next Prime Minister. Liz Truss is an idiot. Anyway, who have we got? You got Rishi. Like I say, not a chance. If he's voted, people don't like Rishi. The people of this country do not like Rishi. So, blue on blue attacks have already begun, with Rishi Sunak blasted by one rival who said it's not obvious that he's got an economic plan or is a tax cutter from his record. He's not. The Tory Party have always been the party of low taxation. Rishi has done nothing but put taxes up, 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 up. One Conservative MP swiped that Sajid Javid's pitch was already over after he completely lost the room while delivering his resignation statement in the Commons. They blasted Foreign Secretary Liz Truss, who's flown back from Indonesia to kickstart her campaign, as bad, mad and frankly dangerous to know. Other MPs told Mail Online they were in despair about who to support, as Tom Tugendhat is too left-wing and dodgy on breakfast. Ben Wallace only knows about defence, and Priti Patel has failed to tackle the channel migrant problem and the policing problem and the prisons problem, and just add it to the list of everything else she's failed at. She's failed upwards her whole life, but she is useless at everything. Attorney General Suella Braverman was slated for having no name recognition with the public, while one backbencher said of the former Minister Steve Baker, every now and again he's prone to crying. We don't want a PM who cries too much. Thatcher never cried. The politicians considering a run include Nadhim Zahawi and Penny Mordaunt. Penny, probably. I think she'd be possibly the best of the bunch, personally thinking. Although the PM's exit was only cemented yesterday, many of the hopefuls have been cranking up campaigns for months and have spent the last week desperately finalising their teams. This is the trouble you've got. A lot of them are faceless non-entities. All the faces they've got just don't fit with the public. See, Liz Truss, her weakness, backed Remain, but now claims to regret it. No, she wanted to stay, but now realises the country voted to leave and says, oh no, I got it wrong. I want to be a leaver as well, because she's desperate for power. Ben Wallace opposed Brexit. Again, you don't want an opposer of Brexit. Rishi, questions about his personal wealth, of course, billionaire. Sajid, backed EU membership, no good. Suella Braverman, I mean seriously, no. Penny Mordaunt, you see, she's jumped onto the woke wagon, trying to win the 0.01% of the votes, which will alienate the 99.99% of people, by saying that trans women are women, so that's her done. Nadhim Zahawi accepted promotion and then told Boris to quit. Well, I can't really blame him for that, because the writing was on the wall. I think it got him in so that he could talk to Boris, so possibly that isn't as bad a thing as it's supposed to be. Steve Baker, I think it's possibly a chance. Potentially saying here weakness, potentially alienating libertarian views. I don't mind if we alienate libertarians. Tom Tugendhat, a Remainer, and Jake Berry, a Remainer. So if you take all the Remainers out, and then you take Rishi out for being a billionaire, and you take the ones out who are stupid, what are you left with? I think Penny Mordaunt. I think that's the only option. And look, there's Carrie. Yes, with a little tremulous bottom lip. Remember that? Never mind. It's done her well. They're all a bunch of useless tossers, aren't they? This is the trouble with MPs, politicians generally. They're all useless. Anyway, I'll just come up and round off. They say you can't polish a turd, but you can roll it in glitter, and that is up for the Tory Party now, is to pick one of the glittery turds. Because, let's face it, none of them are up to the job of following Boris. And for all his faults, for all his mistakes, for all the things he's done wrong, he's still the best leader they've got. They'll come to regret it. As for the rest of us, watch V for Vendetta, because that's where this country is going to be in the next 5 to 10 years. It's frightening. Anyway, if you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future outputs. Leave a like, leave a comment. And until next time, dear friends, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.